Outside the village, where the fields ended and the jungle thickets began, there was a pond no one dared to go near. They said someone lived in that pond. The elders often warned, "Never go to the pond at night. No one ever returns from there." But Anaya, a brave young woman of the village, believed these were only superstitions. That night, there was a strange chill in the air. Clouds had covered the moon. The whole village was asleep, but Anaya couldn't close her eyes. Suddenly, she remembered she had dropped her golden bangle near the fields. "It will only take 5 minutes," she thought, then picked up her lantern and stepped outside. As soon as Anaya reached the path leading to the pond, an uncanny silence fell. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked, and then all was quiet again. Hearing the rustle of leaves, she felt as if someone was following her. But when she turned around, no one was there. Reaching the pond, Anaya saw on the bank stood a dead peepal tree, swaying though there was no wind. Perched on it was a large black crow. "Why have you come here?" Anaya froze in fear. Her lantern shook in her hand, its light dancing across the pond's surface. Slowly, mist began rising from the pond's surface. In that mist, a woman's figure appeared, draped in a white sari, hair dripping wet, face half hidden. She began moving toward Anaya, but her steps were not human. She floated across the ground. "This pond is thirsty. Someone must sink into it." Anaya's entire body turned cold. The lantern slipped from her hand and went out. Suddenly, the pond stirred violently. The water began to boil, as if something inside was shaking it. Anaya tried to run, but her legs grew heavy. It felt as if something had grabbed her ankles. She tried to scream, but her voice choked in her throat. With all her strength, Anaya broke free and ran toward the village. Her heart pounded furiously. Reaching home, she slammed the door shut and collapsed to the floor. But then she saw, on her palm, was a strange, muddy mark, a circle with 3 slanting lines inside. The next morning, the villagers gathered by the pond. There they found the wet footprints of a woman, leading slowly toward Anaya's house and ending at her door. "The spirit has chosen you now, Anaya, to quench the pond's thirst." When Anaya showed the mark on her palm, everyone understood. Her escape was now impossible. At dawn, terror spread through the village. Wet footprints from the pond stretched across the path. Every soul shivered in fear. Anaya quickly hid the strange mark on her hand, but the turmoil in her heart was clear. The village elder spoke in a low voice. "Years ago, a woman was drowned in this very pond. People called her a witch. At the moment of death, she swore, 'In every generation, I will claim a soul.' By evening, Anaya grew weaker. Her eyes glowed red, and her body was being pulled toward the pond. Her mother tied her down with ropes and prayed desperately to the gods. As the night deepened, voices echoed in the air. "Come back. The pond is waiting." Anaya lifted a mirror, but her own face was gone. Instead, a woman in white smiled back. A hand reached out from the mirror and grabbed her wrist. The sorcerer warned, "To stop her spirit, we must perform a ritual at the pond. If no sacrifice is offered, the curse will never break." Villagers brought wood and clay pots. The ritual preparations began. But one question haunted them all. Whose sacrifice would it be? At midnight, the ropes tore on their own. Anaya's eyes glowed faint red. She walked out of the room. Her steps were not human, as if an unseen force was dragging her. Villagers rushed after her with lanterns. Anaya was heading straight for the pond. The pond water began to boil. Blue flames rose into the sky. From the water emerged the same woman, drenched in white clothes. Her eyes burned blood red. "She is mine!" she screamed and reached for Anaya. Just then, another spirit appeared. The same woman, but this time with compassion in her eyes. Light and darkness stood face to face. The cursed spirit against her true form. Stormy, powerful. The skies roared. A whirlpool formed in the pond. "Let me go!" Anaya screamed, her hands trembling. The sorcerer shouted, "This is the final moment. If the true spirit is not freed, the pond will forever demand blood." Anaya closed her eyes, then slowly opened them. Before her stood only one spirit. Was it cursed or pure? No one knew. The truth will be revealed in part 3. The villagers stood, holding their breath. Above the pond, only one spirit floated, and Anaya's pale, terrified face stared back. So true. Suddenly, the spirit smiled and said, "I am free." White light poured out of her body and slowly sank back into the depths of the pond. Anaya collapsed to the ground. The villagers rushed toward her. She was unconscious, but the strange mark on her palm still glowed faintly. The pond grew silent. Everyone thought peace had finally returned. Days later, Anaya's eyes slowly opened. The villagers rejoiced. Her mother hugged her, tears streaming down her face. But then, Anaya spoke in a cold, flat voice. "She is still watching me." All faces turned pale with fear, because Anaya's eyes were now glowing blood red. The pond may have looked calm, but its thirst was far from quenched.